it's making news, he's talking about it. Elias Makos, CJAD 800.
Oh, we are excited. Some fireworks expected this weekend. Of course, if you're going to have a big party, there will be fireworks. And it is the coronation of King Charles III. Tomorrow, a big day for the British monarchy. Official coronation of both King Charles III and his wife, Camilla, the Queen Consort. The two will be crowned at Westminster Abbey in London. The last coronation to take place for the monarchy was for the late Queen Elizabeth in 1957. It lasted 3 hours. Tomorrow's service has been shortened down to only 2 hours. You know, you got to get with the times. TikTok era. It's down to 2 hours. But following the coronation on Saturday, Sunday, we'll see a concert at Windsor Castle with the likes of Take That, Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and more set to perform. But for Canada, the coronation signals a changing of hands on who will now lead the Commonwealth. And sometimes it seems, I had someone text me actually and said, Elias, are you doing King Charles coverage? I'm super excited about it. I said, well, you know what? Orla Johannes is coming on tomorrow. That's how we're going to start things off. So I think there's a bit of a mix here, right? There are some people who are super keen, some people not so much. Orla's even brought her hat.
Let me get me fascinator on, lovey.
Is that what it's called? A fascinator?
It's called a fascinator.
Okay. You are a fascinating individual. So listen, I think we know there's a coronation. Like I know, okay, it's King Charles. It's his big day.
Right.
I have no idea what that entails.
Right. Well, I'm going to help you out there, lovey. Okay. So everything kicks off tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. from Buckingham Palace. Okay. And that's
our time. 6 a.m. our time.
No, 6 a.m. British Standard Time, which is 1 a.m. here. Okay. So you do have to get up early. So there is going to be a formal procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. Now, this is going to take several hours because, of course, they have 1,000 service personnel that will line the route and also members from the armed forces. That takes a long time to line everybody up. Once that's all in place at 10:20 a.m. British Standard Time, which is 5:20 a.m. here in Montreal, King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla will be in the Diamond Jubilee State Coach, and they will make their way to Westminster Abbey for 11 a.m. Now, before the King enters, he will be preceded by representatives from some Commonwealth countries who will carry the flags. I do enjoy that. Beautiful colours of the country, and be accompanied by the Governors General and Prime Ministers, including Rishi Sunak, the UK Prime Minister, who will also do a speech.
Okay.
And before that all starts, let's talk about the music, because there's a special connection with Montreal here, Elias.
Oh, you know what? Someone had told me about this. There's a Montreal connection.
There is a Montreal connection. So our very good friend, Terry DeMonte.
Yes.
No, he's not going to be singing.
It's like he's back? That's amazing. Yeah.
Terry DeMonte, who was the former morning show host on our show FM, he's very good friends with Andrew Lloyd Webber. Okay. And Andrew Lloyd Webber was one of the people that has had a newly commissioned piece of music that he's going to be performing. Okay. So that's our connection. Andrew Lloyd Webber, very good friends with Terry DeMonte. There's going to be a piece of music from Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, he's Phantom of the Opera, like the big guy. Okay.
You know, I'll tell you this story another time, but he actually attended my sister's wedding reception because he lives in Ireland.
Was he a wedding crasher? Or
yes, I'm going to put it down to the wedding crashing.
Okay.
But of course, the Greeks.
Yeah.
We can't forget about the Greeks, Elias.
Tell me more.
Let me tell you. So Greek Orthodox music will also be played at the coronation in memory of the King's father, Prince Philip.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to ask you this, Orla, right? Because I actually see both sides of this, right? I see the people that you tell us exactly what's going to happen, and they're like, look at this pomp and ceremony and wastefulness for what some guy that apparently is special, why, right? I get that.
Right.
And then I also see the other side, which is institutions matter.
Right.
The making sure that institutions have these symbols that actually continue through time.
Right.
That's actually important. What do you think about that? You know, when you hear people that say, this is dumb to do a coronation, all that kind of stuff. What's your take on where you land on that between all of the excess that an event like that entails?
And it is excessive. Yeah. Let's be honest. My take is that I see it as history. This is history. You know, history isn't a choice. History is made. And I think it's very important to be a part of history. But I also think we have to be very mindful, and I think the royal family have been very mindful about the fact that there is a cost of living crisis in England right now. People are struggling.
We were talking about this before, and you said, hey, we need to talk about cost of living crisis in England. So connect those two dots, right? So you have the height of, sort of
pomp and circumstance,
right? At a time where people are struggling. How do you balance that if you're King Charles?
Well, this is what he's done because he does want to show that he is mindful of the situation, and the royal family have basically promoted a more sustainable event. Mm-hmm. It's a smaller event, it's a shorter parade, and most importantly, the food that represents the coronation, who Sarah De Hayes is having right now. She made it yesterday.
She made a quiche for crying out loud.
Yes, It's a coronation quiche. This is an affordable food for every family. Right.
Okay.
And also, let's not forget that King Charles has had an egg for his breakfast every day of his life. The guy's obsessed with eggs. Mm-hmm. And a quiche is based on eggs.
If we talk about symbolism all the time, well, there's symbolism. If it's not going to be filet mignon topped with lobster, it's going to be a quiche, a simple quiche.
Exactly.
Right?
It's coronation quiche.
So let me be the cynic for a second and say, okay, they've pared it down. They're doing it this way. Some people will say, well, they had to. He's not as popular. He couldn't get away with it. Is he in England? What's his popularity like?
His popularity is quite good. It's come a long way from the Princess Diana days, where Camilla's popularity and his popularity was just in the toilet, basically. Yeah. He's really come up. People appreciate the fact that he's all for the environment. He's all for, the climate change. People appreciate that. We have to move forward, and he's moving with the times, and I appreciate him more than when I did back then. I was a very big Princess Diana fan. I think there's always two sides to every story, but his popularity has increased. Now, a recent poll does show that the majority of Britons still very much support the monarchy. Mm-hmm. However, 50% of those people do still believe that the coronation should not be paid by taxpayers.
So it's an issue. It's an issue there too.
It is an issue. Yeah. Now, they're not releasing the financial details just yet. Mm-hmm. That's been made public. We will not release it just yet. Let's think about this. King Charles has a net worth of 1 billion Canadian dollars. Mm-hmm. Okay, when Queen Elizabeth's coronation was held, it was $1.57 million, which in today's money is $78 million. And the Sunday Times have now estimated that they think the coronation this weekend will cost $170 million. I hope that King Charles takes a huge chunk of change out of his purse and not the taxpayer's purse, given the current climate with the crisis.
Because, what you do on CJD here, what you do with Now Trending on Sundays, right, is so much of it has to do with pop culture and what is happening of the moment. I want to ask you this. Do you think that, The Crown, the show on Netflix,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
Love
it.
It's a great show, right?
Yes.
And I actually, I've watched the first half of the latest season where they've got where they have Prince Charles, right?
Yes.
And it's played by Dominic West, who was one of my favorites from The Wire, right?
Yes.
Do you think that The Crown, that's the series on Netflix, the TV series, has helped humanize the monarchy to people?
I honestly do. And I honestly think it's taught people the history. There's a lot of history that shows them in a very bad light and a very good light, and I think that's important to recognize. I think it's a fantastic series. I can't wait till it, we start seeing the next few seasons. I love it. But I do have to say, BBC News headlines, The Crown hit the BBC News headlines because a lot of people, especially in the royal family, didn't really think it was truly portrayed, which was very interesting.
Which is what you sort of have to do when you're going to do a series, you're going to fictionalize something. You have to make it juicy at times. But it's so interesting because I know, Dominic West's portrayal was so good. I was like, I like that King Charles all of a sudden.
Yes.
Now, Orla, another thing that you're good at is talking about some juicy gossip. So I think we've done a great job going over what's going to happen. You have some more time for us, right?
Absolutely.
So coming up next, we have to deal with 2 bits of juicy gossip relating to Harry and his seats And what's the deal with Meghan as well? Okay, so we'll tackle that as we continue our coronation talk on the flip side of traffic. All right, continuing our conversation on this weekend's big affair, the coronation of King Charles III. Orla Johannes is with us. Of course, you know her as the host of Now Trending, Montreal's latest in lifestyle. That airs Sundays at 2 right here on CJAD 800. So, Orla, we really did a good rundown of what to expect and the pomp and the circumstance. But when we talk about royals, we got to talk a little bit about the juicy gossip, right?
100%.
So, I've heard that basically, Harry, right? So Harry's showing up, right? But it's almost like he had to go on to StubHub to get tickets. You know what I mean? Doesn't see, so what's the deal there? Where is he sitting? And what do we know about that relationship now on the man who would be king eventually, right?
Right.
And the family.
So I think, yes, all eyes are going to be on King Charles, but let's be honest, I think all eyes are going to be on Harry and William. And is there going to be some interaction? Now, Harry is flying in this evening to England, and he's not attending with his wife, Meghan Markle. There is no official role for him in the coronation. He's not participating in any planned events or celebrations. He's flying in and flying out within 2 hours after the ceremony.
But it's the equivalent of a guy who got the tickets on StubHub and gets to show up.
Right.
Not like you're a part of it. He's not on stage.
No.
He's, way up there in the mezzanine.
Yeah, 10 rows back, apparently.
Wow.
So they do not want any interaction or any head turning where Prince William and Prince Harry might lock eyes. Now, it has been said, sources have confirmed that Harry and the King have had many positive conversations in the lead up to this weekend, although not in person. And the King, of course, is very pleased that his younger son is attending. But let's not forget what has transpired over the last couple of years. The book Spare.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've also got the Netflix series.
Yeah.
That trashed the royal family and the Oprah interview. So I don't think it's just a case of William and Harry. It's the rest of the royal family. They don't want to give the time of day to one of their family members who has literally, over quite a long period, trashed their own family.
I read a section of Spare when he talks about his frozen bits.
Oh, God.
That was the juicy part here. Okay, the Meghan not showing up, right?
Right.
So if Harry, right, one day, he's in line to be the king.
He is. He's fifth in line right now.
Oh, he's fifth in line.
Fifth in line.
So who's going to be king next?
Okay, so it will be Prince William.
Prince William, okay.
And then after that, it goes down, Prince William's 3 children. Now, however, if something awful, God forbid, happens to Prince William and his 3 children, then technically, yes, Harry could become king. Another interesting fact, if Prince William abdicates the throne and Prince George is under the age of 18, then technically, yes, here's the kicker, Prince Harry or Prince disgraced Andrew could become king, act as regent until Prince George's time.
That literally would be the end of the monarchy. Everyone would be, okay, now it's time to get rid of it. So what about, don't you think they should be making good? They should be making up?
Yes.
Would that be the best thing for this family to just, water under the bridge, make up right now?
Right, 100%. Now, Harry has expressed that he wants a family, not an institution. But hello, I hate to break it to you, but that's not how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
I do. My personal opinion, and I do apologize if it does upset somebody, but I think Meghan, she's pushing her own family away. She doesn't have any inch of reconciliation with her own family and blood. She's married somebody who, together, they have pushed his family away. Their 2 children, there's no cousins there. There's no family get-togethers. And it's so incredibly sad. First of all, don't air your dirty laundry on an Oprah interview. Deal with your problems behind closed doors. You don't have to put everything on a world stage. Because let's be honest, you can't take it back now. There's bigger hurdles to climb to reconcile.
Did they need to do that because they're building a brand for themselves? And this is about, long term, it's about, okay, we're not going to rely on money from the monarchy. We're going to make our money ourselves. And this is how you...
100%. It's all about money. And I think the driving force behind it is his wife. Yeah. She's a smart, strategic person. I do feel for the awful things that she's had to face on being put on a world stage. But I think they should have had better advisors on how to handle the situation. And, the Brits do have a keep calm, carry on, smile, and deal with it behind closed doors attitude. And I have found, being British and moving to North America and being here for 25 years, it's not like that in North America.
Yeah.
I'm more vocal about my opinion on a lot of matters, where in England growing up, I would just smile sweetly and keep bloody quiet.
Sip your tea, keep calm,
yes,
and carry on. Orla, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming. And maybe, let me ask you just one thing. Do you have a hope for this weekend that Charles gets a fair shake?
I have quite a few hopes. First of all, I hope that everything goes off without any security issues. That's number one. And number two, I want it to be a wonderful weekend for him and his family. And you know what? A few olive branches towards the family reconciling would be fabulous.
Go a long way. So full coverage, by the way, of the coronation of King Charles. You can hear it on the Weekends with Ken Connors in his morning show this weekend. So tune in for that. And of course, Orla Johannes, you'll hear her Sundays at 2 p.m. with her fantastic show, Now Trending.